Saint Lucie TV, it's your girl, Samuel Rouge. I'm here with my first cast member, Jem. How are you doing, Jem?
Oh, let me get a better look at you. Wow, don't need this anymore.
So, explain why you're wearing the eye patch.
I don't know, I went to the bathroom there and a guy put a gun to my head and he's like, I'll take the eye patch instead.
So you play Eugenio in the movie. Am I pronouncing that right?
Very much so.
Oh, amazing.
I've lived in Miami for about 20 years and I've learned a little bit of Spanish because I'm
Okay.
from Massachusetts originally. And
Interesting.
And where I come from, they call it Eugenio.
That's not how we
Doesn't
say
have
it
the
down here in
same
Miami.
flow. It's like
Right.
Eugenio.
It's Eugenio.
Eugenio.
Perfect. And tell us about your character in the movie.
Well, all he does is stand around with a gun. You
That's
know?
not
and
all.
And
Come
the
on.
director told me, can you resonate with that? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could.
That's not all he does. He plays. Why is he standing around with a gun, though? Can you tell?
Well, because he's got to protect the boss, and the boss is really upset in that scene because he wants that money.
He wants that
You know
money.
what the boss wants more than money? He wants comfort. And he wanted to make sure that his back feels good.
Yes.
And he needed a massage, and with his temper, he sent all the massage girls away. And unfortunately, Eugenio always gets the crap jobs, so he's a bit of a frustrated guard.
You see, you have to watch the movie to make sure you understand the context.
You want to see man, mafia, mob boss, mutual love?
mutual love.
Yeah, because that scene was 6 hours of massaging a guy's back.
Huh?
And Carluca, when he walked in and he saw the script, we changed it because I wrote
Right.
it. And he's like, "You got to be kidding me!" And 6 hours, and I thought, "Oh my God, that's a little weird."
So you guys are like best friends after
Oh
that.
my, that's the thing. It helped us bond. 'Cause he's like, "Just come over here and rub my back. Let's just get the weird out of the way."
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, it is kind of weird. I kind of regret writing that." But we
you're
wanted to get
pro.
the product. Yeah, so I was just like, we started rubbing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, so you got a little chapter right here." He's like, "Yeah, my dad used to not hug me much."
Oh man, what the job what acting will make you do, right? Rub a man's back for
You
6
know what I mean?
hours.
It's like the universe brings what you need, I guess. It's like, shake that off.
And what brought you to this script?
Let me tell you, this movement,
Yes.
Lunar, Eugene, and Tonis and Sandra are so inspirational. And I love how they are bringing this community together
Yes.
as a marginalized community that's been affected by corporatism, colonialism, politicism, and it's a microcosm of what's happening all over the world.
Exactly.
So if you can see what's happening in one part of a community,
Yeah.
you can see where it's happening everywhere else. And that's what really pisses me off. I'm hoping they're not going to do Plandemic 2.
I hope so. I can't take another pandemic. Why would you say that? Let's not get into that. Oh Lord.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord.
So when I saw
Gosh.
that in
Yeah.
an impoverished community like that, I wanted to support. And I love the cast and crew. And Lunar is a visionary. He's a
Yes,
true
he is.
visionary. And I was so impressed with his ability to walk like he floats on air.
Oh, wow.
With all the moving parts and the stresses and anxieties and the money, and the guy just holds his space, and he creates a beautiful space for artistic people to feel comfortable, to express themselves, and he creates this beautiful thing, and he's an amazing editor. Like, he just cranks it out, and look at all what he's done. He has brought this community together, and I really believe in him, and I believe that this movement's going to affect everyone,
Right.
and I want everyone else outside the Haitian community to see kind of what we've been able to accomplish together, to
As
do
a
that
unit.
everywhere else.
I love that. And you said it perfectly. It's a movement. It's not just a movie. It's really a movement. So what brought you into acting in general?
I love movies. I love movies. You know what I mean? Because we grew up with parents that are always upset and angry
Right.
and all that stuff. We go to the escape of what could be. When I grew up, I used to watch Little House on the Prairie.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you ever saw that
Yes.
show. You know, it's got some great templates there. When I come home, my kids don't come and say hello to me. And I made
New
them
generation.
watch. Yeah, drop your phones. I made them watch Little House on the Prairie with Laura Ingalls running down the hill, and I was like, "That's what I want." So I go outside, I shut the door. Okay, let's try another take. All right, 3 or 4 times they get sick of me doing it until they come running and they give me a hug. I mean, that's how we do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I love that. It gives people an opportunity to see what's possible.
Right.
I also love film because we all kind of stuff on our inside.
We
got
hold it
anger.
in.
We got
Yep.
anger. We want to, and we vicariously, or we have mirror neurons. So we watch something out there, we vicariously it comes up.
Right.
And then people like Lunar and Tonis, they create a conversation. Because what do we do with the anger that's
Right.
coming up now? It's a conversation, and we fight fair. We talk about how we feel.
Exactly.
And then at the end, it's like,
It's like
Like
therapy.
a man massage. You know what I
I
mean?
like how you brought that back. It's like a man massage.
Yeah.
And so acting is basically more therapy to you in a sense, right?
It is, because when I go through the world, I have to ingest a lot, especially in business. I have to
Yeah.
listen to a lot of, let's just say, things I don't
Criticism.
know. Criticisms. I mean, I've been through a divorce, and I've had it all in the news and all this kind of stuff. It's really painful. And then when you're with your brothers and you're
Right.
changing the world together, and you still get it, you have to zip it. You
Right.
have to be that, like Lunar does on set. You have to be that beacon of light. It's very hard to do. So acting allows me to take all these guys, and one of my favorite guys is Matt Berry out of England.
Nice.
And people are terrified of him because they like, don't piss that guy off, because he's going to do a character about me. And sure enough, and that's what gives me like some levity of my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, really going to cut me off in line? Okay.
So
Guess
you
who's
love
in my
it.
movie?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, there's a healing expression. I'm getting out of myself. You know what I mean?
And with that getting out of yourself with your character Ingenio,
Yeah.
do you resonate with the character personally?
Yeah, it was such a big role.
Listen,
He
no
did
role is
this,
too small.
walk. But I'll tell you, I resonated with it because he's such a frustrated guy, and he does whatever it takes to get the job done. And what's funny is that scene was actually written for a female.
Okay.
So
Makes sense with massaging. Makes sense. I'm like-
exactly. And I actually met this girl, and she worked for a very famous billionaire. And she's like, I always wanted to be in movies, because she was from South
Yeah.
Africa.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, well, I'm going to meet the director. Do you want to be in it? And in Miami, they all say yes.
Of
Last
course.
minute, they chicken out.
Of course.
So, typical Hollywood, I had to rewrite the script. What was amazing is that Aces, a
Right.
brilliant actor, he was in Winter Soldier and Cobra Kai, for all you kids out there. I had to change the character from her name to his name. He has no hair at all. So,
Oh,
of course,
wow.
I called him Rubio, like he has blonde hair in Spanish. And his whole line is hilarious. And he's like, Rubio, come rub my back. And what does Rubio said? I can't do it, boss. I just did my nails last week, which was her line.
Right.
And then, of course, Eugenio gets the crap job.
Dang.
So, and I hope they didn't cut it out of the film.
I hope so too. We have to watch to see
But I'll
if they
tell you
cut it
something,
out.
adding a bit of comedy, because they didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, who's an amazing actor, I mean, he ad-libbed his entire lines. He's Laughing
That's
Man.
a skill. That's a skill, is ad-lib.
You're so right. So Laughing Man comes in, and he ad-libbed the whole thing, and it was incredible. It was incredible how that all just kind of came together.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I love your story and the reason how you got into this role. But this movie is about a queen and how her impact it is in a man's life. Do you have any queens in your life, whether it's your mother, your sister, a special woman that
My
has
mom.
influenced you?
So I'm 49, and I've just learned at this part of my life, like if I meet wonderful women,
Yeah.
sometimes it works close, sometimes it works afar, because, you girls are so alluring.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe Miami we are, but it's an interesting spot.
Yeah, but then you realize there's a soul in there, there's a heart, and you want it to relate. You want the relation of the two galaxies to be in harmony.
Right.
And some people have something they need to work on, and so we kind of help each other, but then we kind of say, okay, well,
We're done.
you'll be my business partner.
Oh wow!
So that's what I do. Like my ex-girlfriend, love her to death. I'm actually going to go fly to New York to see her. I gave her a portion of my company because
A portion of her
without her help,
company?
it would have never happened.
Ladies, no more sugar daddies. You need businessmen. I'm playing.
Yeah,
I'm playing,
exactly.
I'm playing.
No, it's
Wow,
true,
that's
though.
beautiful, though.
Because you have to respect and appreciate what people give and receive. Otherwise, it's suicide.
It takes a lot for you to see outside of your personal, to take a skill and to see who she is and still help her and bring her a part of your journey.
That was so well said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not everyone can do that. Everyone's like, oh, I know you're good in business, but bye, I'm done with you. But the fact that you're able to include her in a nice, respectful way in your business, that's
Yeah,
a
because
great
the
thing.
energy, there's an attraction, right? So it's like, what
Right.
do we do with all that and all our stuff? And
Right.
we survive it sometimes.
Sometimes,
right?
yes.
But then it's like, how do we settle? And how do we make this work? And how do I lift you up? And how do
Right.
you lift me up? Kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I do. So I have a lot of queens in my life in that regard. But I'm getting my Italian passport, and I have this idea that I'm gonna meet
An Italian queen.
La Ragazza
An Italian
in Milano.
queen. She's gonna serve you, make you pasta every Sunday.
Yep.
Okay, I see you, Jem.
Yeah. Well, I'm very honored that you interviewed me. You're a
Of
beautiful
course.
lady.
Thank you.
Heavily talented, smart,
Oh, thank you.
a queen in your own right.
I
But
appreciate
there's a lot
that.
of people you got to interview as well.
I know. But before we let you go, what are some of your upcoming projects that you have, and where can people follow you to support that?
Well, if you go to Grapetree Ventures,
Yes.
we create beautiful things. One of them is Revelator Studios, which I kind of feel this is a part of. It's my movie studio. But to pay for the movies, we got to sell products. So I had a vision under an ayahuasca ceremony of a bunch of Indians from India.
Yeah.
And a few years later, I met the world famous Dr. Narendra Kinney, the CEO of Nicholas Children's Hospital.
Wow.
I introduced him
beautiful.
to a couple of programmers that could predict heart attacks in children. And he says, Jem, what do you got next? And I said, well, doctor, how do you feel about marijuana? And I thought he was going to say, oh, can't touch it. But he said, brother, I'm down. So we built this beautiful CBD company together. So Upaya Health.
Make sure you follow that. Any social media platforms before we head out?
Jem the Revelator.
Of course. Make sure you follow him. We'll be right back. Thank you again for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Of course.